Let's dive right into it because this might be important. Number 11, gender reveal parties. I don't want to judge. If you want to have a gender reveal party, go ahead. Whether you want to reveal a girl with a pink Mercedes or a boy with blue toilet cleaner, go on ahead and have a great time. But if you want to use military-grade fireworks, that may be a problem. The year was 2020. A couple threw a gender reveal party in a state park, surrounded by dry brush. They wanted something dramatic, so they used a smoke-generating pyrotechnic device. And what better time to ignite one than a 100-degree day in late summer in Southern California during low humidity? The device instantly lit brush on fire, right beneath a steep cliff. Luckily, the couple came prepared. They brought a single water bottle in case they got thirsty, or apparently in case they accidentally triggered an ecological disaster. Fire crews struggled to reach the flames as they climbed the cliffside. Winds picked up embers and scattered them like sparks across the valley. What started as a photo op turned into a wall of fire. The El Dorado fire would eventually burn over 22,000 acres, force evacuations, injure 13 firefighters, and cost more than $40 million to contain. But in a way, the reveal worked. The whole world found out the couple was having a boy. Number 10, Victorian baby bottles. In the 1800s, new parents wanted to modernize baby care, so they did what any reasonable person would do. They invented the world's least cleanable bottle. Victorian baby bottles, later called murder bottles, were made of glass or pottery, shaped like a banana, and connected to a long rubber tube and nipple. They looked high-tech for the time. But here's the problem. Nobody cleaned them. Or rather, they couldn't. The narrow tube made it nearly impossible to scrub inside, and the Victorians hadn't quite figured out germ theory yet. So instead of boiling or disinfecting it, they'd just give it a quick rinse, if they felt like it. Over time, old milk and bacteria would build up inside the tubing, forming a rotting sludge that babies were encouraged to drink several times a day. One medical journal from the time described the bottles as death traps for infants. Infections were common. Mortality rates soared. But hey, at least it looked fancy. By the time people realized what was happening, thousands of babies had already died. The bottles were eventually banned due to deathly poor hygiene, which was a real blow to the babies who'd developed a taste for mildew. Number 9, baby cages. In 1930s London, some city parents had a problem. They wanted their baby to get fresh air and sunshine, but they also lived in tiny apartments with no yard. So naturally, someone invented a solution. A metal cage that hangs out your window several stories above the street. These were called baby cages, and yes, they were exactly what they sound like. Wireframe boxes that clipped onto the outside of apartment windows, so your baby could dangle over traffic like a potted plant. They were marketed as perfectly safe. Health professionals even encouraged it. Fresh air was thought to prevent rickets and boost immunity, so parents in London started putting their infants in hanging cages. And surprisingly, there were no reported cases of baby cages falling to the street. Turns out the Brits knew exactly what they were doing, and London babies got to enjoy some fresh air while mom did the household chores. Baby cages became wildly popular, but just like nice beach spots in Europe, the Germans ruined it. During the Battle of Britain, baby cages were no longer considered safe, because of the falling bombs and such. After the war, baby cages made a mild comeback, but with the rise of car pollution, and especially the Great Smog of 1952, they quickly fell out of fashion. Not because people feared a fall, but because nobody wanted their baby marinating in diesel fumes. Number 8, Mrs. Winslow's soothing syrup. In the 19th century, parenting was hard. Babies cried, parents were tired, and pharmaceutical companies were eager to sell a solution. So they gave us Mrs. Winslow's soothing syrup, a wildly popular over-the-counter medicine for teething, colic, and general fussiness. The medicine even freshens the baby's breath. It promised instant relief, and it delivered, because the main ingredient was morphine. Each teaspoon contained about 65 milligrams of it, enough to sedate a small horse, or in this case, a baby. The syrup was marketed as perfectly harmless and sold for over 70 years. It was even featured in medical journals and newspapers as a parenting essential, and while it did stop babies from crying, it also had, let's say, some very long-term side effects. By the late 1800s, doctors began reporting cases of infant death linked to the syrup. And it wasn't alone. Dozens of similar baby medicines contained alcohol, heroin, chloroform, and opium. Eventually, experts realized that maybe babies don't need narcotics, and Mrs. Winslow's soothing syrup was pulled from shelves in the early 1900s. But for decades, it was the go-to cure for a fussy baby, because nothing says gentle relief like a teaspoon of morphine. Number 7, Baby Alice Thumb Guard. Babies love sucking their thumbs. It soothes them, stops the crying, and helps them sleep. Today's pediatricians say thumb sucking is perfect perfectly normal up to age 3 or 4. But that wasn't the view in the 1930s. Back then, thumb sucking wasn't just a habit, it was a moral failing, something to be stamped out. So while parents were chain smoking and drowning in rye whiskey, they worried that their baby's thumb sucking might lead to bad habits. The solution? A hardwired thumb guard, locked on with no escape. This wasn't some soft silicone training aid. The Baby Alice thumb guard was a rigid metal cage. It clamped over the baby's thumb and wrist and was locked in place with a tiny padlock. The ads called it harmless, hygienic, and for extra peace of mind, impossible for a baby to remove. And yes, babies would still try to suck their thumb. Only now, their thumb was wrapped in stiff metal wiring. Turns out, sucking on metal isn't great for dental health or jaw development. Some babies developed misaligned teeth. Others suffered actual jaw deformities, but hey, that's a small price to pay to stop a nasty habit. Number 6. Ultraviolet stamps. As long as there have been hospitals, parents have shared one difficult to escape fear. What if the hospital mixes up my baby and I take home the wrong one? In the 1950s, hospitals had the perfect solution. Use an ultraviolet lamp to burn the baby's initials into their skin. But don't worry, the branded initials were invisible under normal light. You could only see them under UV. And yes, branding is the right word. The device literally stenciled your baby's initials onto their back or leg using ultraviolet light and a metal template. Because why use name tags when you can just etch your child's identity into their flesh? Technically, it didn't leave scars, just long-lasting pigmentation changes. But still, when the solution to hospital mix-ups is baby tattoo gun, maybe it's time to reconsider the problem. On the plus side, it could lead to some nice bonding time. So grab a UV light and the sweet old lady next door. Together, you two can see if she was branded as a baby. Number 5. Nose free to Snot Sucker. Babies can't blow their noses, so when they get congested, the mucus just sits there, blocking airways, making it hard to eat, sleep. For years, there was no good solution until someone invented the Nose Free to Snot Sucker. It's a small plastic tube that connects directly to your baby's nose and then to your mouth. That's right, you clear your baby's snot by literally sucking it out through a straw. Now don't panic, you won't be gargling booger juice. The device is designed so you provide the suction, but none of the snot actually reaches you. There's a filter, it's washable. It's safe, it works, and pediatricians generally recommend it, but still, you are voluntarily slurping mucus out of another human being. Welcome to the joys of parenting. Number 3. Amber teething necklaces. Babies love to chew on stuff, literally anything they can get their mouths on. So when teething hits, some parents turn to a natural remedy, amber teething necklaces. Amber teething necklaces were popular in ancient times but went out of fashion because they don't really work. But the ancient practice got a modern makeover thanks to social media. Commercial accounts flooded parenting groups with fake likes, glowing posts, and miracle claims. Parents seeking natural or homeopathic remedies took the bait, and once celebrities started posting photos of their babies wearing amber teething necklaces, the trend exploded. These are real amber beads, strung together and worn around a baby's neck, with the claim that the amber releases a pain-relieving oil when warmed by the baby's skin. That oil supposedly gets absorbed and soothes inflammation. There's just one small problem. There's no scientific evidence any of that happens. No oil, no absorption, no relief. Turns out magic stones for babies aren't a real thing. What the necklaces can do, however, is become a strangulation hazard, or a choking risk if the necklace breaks and the baby swallows a bead. Nearly every pediatrician organization recommends avoiding them entirely, because when your solution to teething pain is put beads around a baby's neck, you might be creating a bigger problem than sore gums. Number 2. Baby Einstein. The early 2000s were a wild time. Big tech wasn't big yet, and screens were seen as harmless, maybe even helpful. Instead of warning parents to keep babies away from screens, toy companies took a different approach. Enter Baby Einstein, a line of DVDs and TV shows marketed as brain-boosting content for infants. The idea was simple. Stick your baby in front of a screen filled with shapes, colors, and classical music, and turn them into a genius. There was just one issue. It didn't work, and it probably caused more harm than good. Multiple studies showed that educational baby TV didn't boost learning. In fact, too much screen time may delay language development, and it can even impair eye development in infants. Today, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends no screens at all for kids under 18 months, not even in the background. But parents in the early 2000s didn't know that. Baby Einstein sold millions of DVDs. Some parents even mounted TVs onto cribs to enhance their baby's learning. Because nothing fuels early development like binge-watching Baby Mozart from a crib-mounted flat screen. Number 1. Gucci Baby. Babies are cute, but they are also disgusting. We're talking snot, saliva, and sometimes babies can make a mess so big that everyone in the room needs a new outfit. And to make things worse, they outgrow everything in a matter of weeks. That's why most parents stick to cheap, practical baby clothes. Maybe splurge on something cute for a holiday photo or family wedding. But Gucci sees things differently. Gucci thinks babies should be fashion-forward. Just because you need help burping doesn't mean you can't be fabulous while flaunting your parents' wealth. This shoe? $500. Baby sandals? $300. This bucket hat? $300. And this dress? $980. And to keep baby warm, here's a $1,600 jacket. And to really tie the baby's room together, why not throw in this luxury crib from Chelsea? It's only $12,000. Their website calls it a mini-me collection because nothing says bonding like matching your baby in $1,000 Italian couture. And sure, your child may not be able to walk, talk, or hold their own head up, but at least they'll be vomiting into fine Italian luxury. That's all for today. I'll be making more videos like this, so feel free to subscribe. And while you're here, the algorithm thinks you'll like that video right over there, because who knows, this might be important.